Hey asshole, I've got two important questions for you. How far would you go for a sponsorship, and how far would you go for YouTube views? Would you crash a plane? Would you commit a felony? Huh? If your answer to that question is no, then you're a pussy and a coward. Take it from my man Trevor, who recently possibly crashed his plane on purpose for the sake of a viral YouTube video, which was also a sponsorship deal. It's a pretty wild story and one that I've been following actively since the day it was posted, which was about 13 days ago now. So, just to break it down, I'll go ahead and play some footage quickly. An extreme YouTuber named Trevor, who's known for doing extreme shit like piloting, parachuting, skateboarding. I swear to God, this dude will finger blast your girlfriend while hitting a kickflip. He recently posted a video called I Crashed My Plane, and in the video he takes his friend's ashes and says he's going to spread them over his favorite mountains, but while on the flight, something goes awry. The engine stalls and he immediately abandons ship and just bails out of the plane. It honestly looks like in a video game when you press the wrong button when piloting, you just like accidentally jump out. And then he makes sure to get his GoPro and selfie stick ready so he gets some awesome footage of him skydiving basically from the plane that is inevitably going to crash. And while watching this, it seems like a scene right out of the Power Rangers movie from the early 2000s with Ivan Ooze, where the Rangers skydive, but they're hitting like all these gnarly tricks on a surfboard. That's the exact same vibe I got from this part. And then he parachutes, he lands, and then he hikes up to the crashed plane to observe the wreckage. And you can see it's completely totaled, it crashed into the side of the mountain, and then he's just kind of talking about it and then hikes back to civilization. Now I watched this on stream last night, that's twitch.tv/moistcritical. I stream every day, come stop by, it's the only stream guaranteed to get you laid. I'll put a link in the description. And while watching it with chat, we were just kind of going over everything, and then I watched a video that kind of talks about all of the things that are wrong with it. I'm no pilot, I'm really fucking dumb when it comes to aircrafts and everything, but there's a lot wrong with the video that the actual pilots have pointed out, and a couple of them that I'd like to just mention right away is almost no pilot flies with a parachute. That is very alarming for most pilots to see, apparently. And even he himself never flies with a parachute. In all of his other videos, he's never wearing one while piloting. He also doesn't really try to do anything to solve the problem when it stalls. It also stalls at a very convenient cruising altitude. And instead of trying to actually fix the problem, he just immediately bails out. And as another YouTuber pointed out, it's very suspicious that while something has gone wrong with the engine, we never see inside of the cockpit. All the cameras, like there's 12 cameras on this fucking thing. It's like a goddamn complete 360 video basically of all the camera coverage, but not a single time while the engine is apparently malfunctioning do we see anything in the cockpit. We only get the outside exterior shots of him about to jump out. So that was another very suspicious thing. A couple other pilots pointed out weird things that they noticed in the cockpit itself before everything goes wrong, and just so many things that make this video very suspicious. Seeing the YouTuber who crashed the plane for views? Yeah! I actually saw that the day he posted it. Someone sent me it in an email. Yeah, his name's Trevor Jacobs, the guy who crashed this plane. He still got it up, too. Oh, he turned off comments. You coward. Oh, you blew it, Trevor. You blew it. Yeah, so this dude... I mean, I'll let it play. Thanks for some bees. So, to break it down, well, you know, let me just let it play and then we can go over it. I watched this the day it was posted, though. I was on the forefront of this drama. Why, though? There's a couple theories. Most people think he did it just for the sponsorship since it's a Ridge Wallet sponsorship. So he wanted it to have good views so that way he'd get other sponsorships from them. Like, oh, look at how well this video performed for us. That's like the leading theory. But then the other theories is just wanting the attention. That insatiable appetite for some updates.
What's happening? How's it going? My name's Trevor Jacob. Super grateful he'll be joining us.
Says in the video the engine fails. Okay, so I can already see people coming in here like, no, Charlie, this is completely legitimate. So let's go over a couple of things, and I'll play the corresponding clips. So it's around right here, where the engine stalls. Everything's gone wrong. Catastrophes happened. Every pilot's worst nightmare, next to like getting hit by an anti-air missile. And his first instinct is to jump out of the plane. He doesn't try and fix anything. He literally just leaps immediately. Which is quite literally, from what I understand, the last thing anyone should ever do as a pilot. There's a whole checklist of things they do before even considering this. And also, no pilots fly with a parachute normally. And neither does this guy. He only flew with a parachute in this video, and this video alone. All the other videos with him piloting a plane, he is not wearing a parachute. I love the way he exits the plane, though. And luckily it stalled at a nice cruising altitude. Dropping tilted towers. Yeah. Another thing a lot of people pointed out is while he's falling, you can see a ton of places that he could have potentially landed this plane. I'm not a pilot, so the reason I never even bothered talking about it is because I don't know fuck all about it. There were people a lot smarter than me that really dissected this and pointed out all of the bullshit. And this is a felony, crashing a plane on purpose. This is a really big deal. So obviously it generated a lot of waves in the actual community of pilots. So again, he never wore a parachute when piloting any of the other planes that he has flown in, yet he claims that he always wears one, which is just a blatant lie.
That's why I always freaking fly with a parachute.
No which he doesn't. Service. Yep. So this was obviously a big deal. I saw it when it happened. But there are so many things wrong with this. There's almost no realm where this is legitimate. Unless, of course, he quite honestly is the worst pilot to ever live, I suppose.
So Trevor's airplane that you normally see him flying in,
with no parachute,
red and white experimental airplane with the tail number, you can tell like it's very obvious that it's a different plane. It's
guy jumped out of his airplane like he reached the map limit.
You can clearly
That's
see
cute.
the registration. We've got Santa Barbara and Santa Ynez.
Man, he's so lucky it didn't just miss the mountains and crash into a town. Like, holy fuck.
And then it does seem like the numbers have been painted over or obscured in some way, though, because you can never get a clear
Why would that help his case, though?
See what the numbers actually say.
If you can't see the numbers, why is that helpful to him? Because they can't track the flight.
Where's your paraglider?
But how does that help them if they can't track the flight? Can't they just watch this and pretty much plot the flight like this YouTuber did? I don't see how it's not... I don't see that how it helps them, though. For no room for speculate. Okay. I mean, I guess, yeah. I suppose. It just feels stupid, because if he's going to film this whole thing, he should obviously know that they can find his course. He shows him leaving the airport, and, like, that's probably... If 4chan can find Shia LaBeouf's flag in the middle of fucking nowhere by airplane routes and constellations, I'm sure the FAA could probably figure out where this dumb asshole was going, and what mountains he crashed into, considering there was only 2 possible locations nearby.
So if we take a look at the
oh my god,
flight,
what am I looking at?
We have right
the
here,
fuck?
Lompoc, he said that his destination.
Oh my god, Jesus, fuck.
Up here. So this is where he started. This is there.
We're in the mainframe.
I felt like I needed to say something. A lot of other people have questions too.
That's another thing I noticed. The actual pilot community is for some reason like the most respectful and nicest community of all time that I've ever seen on the internet. Like in the comments before you disabled them, all the pilots that knew this was bullshit, they were like, well, there's a lot of inconsistencies with what I'm seeing here. I'd like to trust you, and I think against my better judgment I will, but here's everything that's clearly wrong about everything here. And even this guy's video, which is basically an exposed video, amounts to him just saying like, yeah, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It's probably just, about a lot of weird things happening. Yeah, plane people just seem super nice. And this exposed video is so big brain, I couldn't even understand half of the things he used to debunk the bullshit. For me, I knew it was garbage when someone sent it to me, and the first thing the dude did was just bail out of the plane like it was fucking GTA. He tried no troubleshooting at all from a cruising altitude where he had plenty of time to at least try and like restart the engine or like glide it to a landing nearby or anything. He's just like, yep, I'm fucking out. Peace. And then he has also one of the worst actors I've seen in a minute when he's like hiking through the place. He's like, freaking, oh my gosh, the freaking universe just saved me. The freaking universe is so good. This is why I always freaking parachute. I wonder if he's actually going to say anything about this at any point. I would imagine probably not. But he's kept the video up. So I wonder what's going to come from it. Again, it's a serious crime. Like a very serious crime. Low-key terrorist attack. I mean, it is, yeah, not super wrong. He just bails out of a plane and lets it crash. It could have crashed anywhere. He had no control over where that thing was going to crash, nor who was in the area nearby. And as we just saw in the last video, there's like a whole town that's not far from these mountains. And by not far, I mean they're literally right next to these mountains. Now, I didn't mention this on stream, but it's something I thought of right after ending stream. If this video didn't have the plane crash, then what was the purpose of the video? It's basically just a video of a guy flying his plane and then landing it. I guess the draw of the video could have been spreading his friend's ashes, but that's a very personal thing and not exactly like a viral piece of content. And Trevor's channel is full of nothing but extreme moments. Like all of his piloting ones have like scary stories or taking people up that are very afraid, and it's all very like exciting stuff. Whereas if this video didn't have the plane crash, it's literally just him flying and then landing. And this has a sponsor on it. Sponsors typically want to be on a piece of content they're confident would perform well. A video where Trevor just flies and lands isn't exactly going to be something that really fucking pops off in the algorithm or anything like that. But a plane crash, well, that has the potential to really get wacky, and especially for a sponsorship, it'd be something they'd be confident in doing well. And I'm sure Trevor would have come up with a plan to make the content more exciting, considering all of his other content is, like, over the top. Whereas this one would have just been flying and landing. So it just seems really out of character, and there could be merit to that argument where, because it was a sponsorship, Trevor felt like he needed to do something bigger, so he came up with this plan of crashing the plane. Again, all of this could be completely genuine. Maybe all of this is real. The plane really malfunctioned. There was no saving it, so he bailed out. But with everything pointed out by the actual pilots in the community, as well as everything they were able to uncover, it seems unlikely. It seems more like this was a stunt to generate views and interest in his channel and content, which is pretty fucked up if that is the case. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this. That's about it. See ya.